double check. Yeah.
It's in this folder.
Yes.
16th November.
And it's the presentation there.
And can I put it on the screen right now?
Please. That's here.
I will be here.
On certain parts of the presentation, ask them to pick themselves, but for the rest of the time, right?
Okay, if you're gonna be just here and tell me to like change the slides, I will. Yeah. You're welcome.
Alles gut. Ging da vorne jetzt aber welche? Eins draußen. Achso, wollen nicht da rumliegen haben oder so. Okay, alles klar. Right. Oh, danke, bis dann.
What? Yeah, I think it's working. Thank you everyone for coming. We are about to get started, so I would ask everyone to get seated so that we can start shortly. I think we can get started, right? No, we're just still waiting. Okay, we can get started. Thank you everyone for coming. It's my pleasure to welcome you to this session today of the AI Innovation Grand Challenge Award Ceremony, hosted by UNFCCC Technology Executive Committee and Enterprise Nervous System. I'm Maria João Souza, and I'm Executive Director of Climate Change AI, and I have the honor of serving on the judging committee of this Grand Challenge. So it is very nice to see this all big enterprise coming full circle as well 1 year after its launch last year. Without further ado, I would like to introduce the chair of the Technology Executive Committee, Mr. Tibian Ibrahim. Please, you're welcome to the stage.
Distinguished delegates, colleagues, friends, very warm welcome and good afternoon. I'm happy to welcome you to the AI Innovation Grand Challenge award ceremony, and I'm very excited to be here with you today to celebrate our award winner. I would like to start by thanking our partner, Enterprise Neurosystem, for their tireless efforts, and especially to Bill, who is here today. I'm grateful to you and your team for making this possible. I would also like to recognize our esteemed panel of judges whose expertise and dedication in evaluating each submission was invaluable. Last year in Dubai at COP28, we jointly launched the AI Innovation Grand Challenge as a global open source competition to identify and accelerate AI-powered solutions for climate adaptation and mitigation action in developing countries, particularly in least developed countries and small island developing states. I was inspired to see the wealth of examples in how AI is already being used today for effective climate action in different country contexts. I commend each and every participant for their dedication and hard work in taking part in this challenge. As the AI Innovation Grand Challenge culminates today, the UNFCCC Technology Executive Committee's work on opportunities, challenges, and risks of using AI for climate action is just beginning. On Monday at 1 p.m., the Technology Executive Committee will launch the first knowledge product on AI for climate action at the UNFCCC Capacity Building Hub. I hope to see all of you there. And with that, I'll hand it back to you, Maria. And once again, congratulations to our winner. Thank you all very much.
Thank you very much. Now is also my pleasure to introduce Bill Wright, the chair of Enterprise Neurosystem, to the stage to talk to us a bit about the AI Innovation Grand Challenge. Thank you.
Oh, wow. This is fantastic. And thank you, Maria, for your tireless efforts being a judge. I know that wasn't easy, and there was quite a few entrants. And want to thank a number of people that are here today. I'd like to thank Tae-Yoon Kim for his tireless efforts in terms of getting this off the ground over the last year. And to a number of other people who are here that were just, I mean, too many to mention. But my co-founder and very dear friend, John Overton, is here, was also a judge in the competition. Thank you for your tireless efforts and for making time in your busy schedule to be here. He's the CEO of his own company, Cove, a leading contributor to our Grand Challenge prizes as well. So I want to thank you for that also. But as the founder of the Enterprise Neurosystem, and let me go to my slide here. I'm here basically to share a story about my son. His name is Nico, and he is the reason why this this organization exists today. It was September 9th, 2020, and there were about 22 different wildfires raging in Northern California. And it led to a condition that is now known as Orange Skies Day, where a combination of both smoke and fog actually turned the skies over San Francisco a deep red color. And my son had been sent home from school as the air quality was so bad, he couldn't safely be in the classroom, he couldn't safely play outside, and he just basically safely couldn't be a child. And, you know, we both stood there in our living room looking out over the red horizon, and he turned to me and he said, "Dad, what are you going to do about this?" And I really didn't have an answer for him. I was at a loss for words. I mean, what do you say to a 7-year-old boy in the face of a calamity that we basically brought upon ourselves? And but there was an idea I was working on at Red Hat, and I'm an AI and networking architect in their telecommunications business unit. Red Hat's a very interesting company as they encourage employees to do open source research and contribute to community projects. And I'd started an AI networking study group looking for ways to infuse AI analytics across multinational telecommunications networks. And as I stood there with my son, you know, it struck me that the world was full of sensors. Satellites, atmospheric and oceanic sensors, irrigation sensors, and many others. And these sensors were similar to cell phones in a mobile network. And if there were another layer of ground sensors in forests and in different animal and plant communities, you get an added dimension of intelligence that would inform us about the impact of climate change across all of nature. And what if there was one unified network linking all these projects and sensors together, warning us about evolving conditions in real time across the world? And that day I started the Enterprise Neurosystem, standing there with my son, to try to build a neurosystem for our planet, using my research colleagues in the private sector, the enterprise, to build it. So our team at the Enterprise Neurosystem is comprised of 180 dedicated AI engineers, scientists, and IT architects from 18 countries who share a commitment to build a single unified AI network for all global climate projects, unifying them in one AI architecture, which in turn magnifies the analytic capability of AI, which will then create a complete early warning system for our planet. It'll be a common resource for all nations to share and participate in, and with volunteers from institutions like Stanford SLAC, the University at St. Gallen, UC Berkeley, and tech industry leaders like Red Hat, Cove, IBM Research, and others, we've all joined forces with a singular goal to leverage AI for the betterment of our planet. And in the tradition of open source development, we will make AI applications free of charge and accessible to all, in particular, developing nations, LDCs, and SIDS. And few nations can afford the computational power required for the scale of analytics. And with wealthy nations applying their own perspectives to the data and analytics, bias also becomes a factor. A truly global system ensures data and analytics equity and reduces the possibility of bias. So up-leveling developing nations with AI capability is not only the ethical thing to do, it is also the practical thing to do from an analysis and accuracy perspective. And thus we have partnered with our friends and colleagues in the UNFCCC Tech on a variety of initiatives to help make this a reality. Which brings us to the UNFCCC Technical Executive Committee AI Innovation Grand Challenge. Promoting the work of developing nations in the field of artificial intelligence becomes a key factor if we want these countries to achieve parity, and in turn lead to a truly global network architecture. All nations should share the same access to AI climate applications, develop the expertise required to address the challenges in their countries, and eventually share this data as an equal member in the global community. So the UNFCCC Tech created the competition's parameters and evaluation objectives. And given the numerous submissions from around the world, a project needed to stand out for its potential to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and increase climate resilience, especially in developing countries. The entry should also align with the UNFCCC Tech's rolling work plan for 2023 through 2027 and embody the Grand Challenge's mission to drive meaningful, scalable solutions that can be adapted across diverse countries and in various contexts. And positive consideration was given to startups with female leadership and to entries from least developed countries and small island developing states. And again, I want to thank our judges because their efforts were tireless in this regard. But in terms of our distinguished panel, we selected a representative, gender-based, gender-balanced group of academic and private sector experts to conduct the evaluation of the entries. And I'd like to take this opportunity to thank them again personally for the countless hours they devoted to supporting this grand challenge. I should mention their names. I think that would be the polite thing to do. That included Angie Grimm, Head of Sustainability for the Females in Finance Organization and former Vice President of IBM Ventures. Dr. Gerald Kafuku, Manager of Innovation and Technology in the Tanzanian Commission for Science and Technology and the NDE for Tanzania. There was Kate Callett, the founder and CEO of Amini. There was Dr. Marwala, who all of you know as the Rector of the United Nations University and the UN Undersecretary General. Saurabh Mazumdar, Distinguished Engineer and Solutions Director for AI and Sustainability at IBM. Dr. John Overton, sitting in the row there, CEO of Cove and the co-founder and vice chair of the Enterprise Neurosystem. Dr. Alessandra Russo, Professor and Head of the Department of Computing at the Imperial College London. And then, of course, Maria Souza to my right, Executive Director of Climate Change AI. Thank you all. And it wasn't an easy job being a judge. There were 114 entries from 62 countries. And these entries reflected a high degree of interest from the one group that the UNFCCC TEC wanted to basically elevate and support, as over 73% of the entries were from LDCs, SIDS, and developing nations. In terms of the text objectives, this was considered a tremendous success. And these concepts by sector were reflective of the countries of origin and the challenges they face. The most predominant were early warning, agriculture and education systems, followed by water and energy management, and forestry and ecosystem monitoring. And the top 10 finalists came from a variety of countries, primarily developing nations, with varying levels of expertise in the field of artificial intelligence. Some concepts were already ready for production use, and others were proposals for innovative solutions that carried potential for further development. And again, the criteria set forth by the UNFCCC Tech was to identify and elevate the most practical entries that offered the highest potential for success. And the Enterprise Neurosystem and our partners will offer our guidance on technical development going forward. And so what happens next? All these various projects exemplified innovation, inclusivity, and purpose. This grand challenge not only advanced and promoted these new AI climate solutions, but also exemplified the value of open source collaboration. In time, many of these solutions will become available via the proposed AI Climate Application Hub, where AI applications and data sources are made accessible free of charge to developing nations. This resource will provide critical AI tools, curated data repositories, and operational guidance with a review board that would ensure that the applications as offered are functionally sound, secure, and developed in an environmentally responsible manner. Each solution would include development history and provenance, checks and balances against bias, and would maintain adherence to green IT best practices to minimize carbon output. And as part of the core concept mentioned earlier, these applications will eventually be part of an integrated AI climate network supporting all nations. And I also want to take a moment to thank our partners who will provide the following awards of in-kind software tools and infrastructure to help our winner build their vision. Cove will provide the equivalent of $5 million in product value of their leading Cove SDM memory management software which will help enable large-scale AI training and inference across an entire data center. This capability also saves significant power and enables new high-performance capabilities from existing data center infrastructure. Red Hat will provide a $300,000 subscription to their flagship OpenShift AI platform, Red Hat OpenShift Service on AWS, or ROSA, that enables our winning team to develop and deploy their AI applications with hybrid cloud management capability in a full-scale production AI environment. Amazon Web Services will provide all 5 of the live presentation finalists with tiered amounts of AWS cloud credits for a total of $250,000 in awards. And Google will provide a 6-month membership in their Google Startups for Sustainable Development program, which includes mentors at Google and Google Cloud credits, all valued at $40,000 US. And all the semifinalists and finalists will receive ongoing enterprise neurosystems seminars in 2025 to help guide them in refining and developing their AI applications. We want to create a mutually supportive network of colleagues in the climate technology sector, leading to a new ecosystem of AI climate application development. We feel that community building is an area that requires a singular focus, and we will continue to follow and support their progress. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Bill. And after this very extensive list of thank yous, I think I speak also for everyone in thanking you also for your leadership in this whole process as well. I think everyone recognizes that as well. Now, without further ado, we will proceed to the winner announcement. And for that, I have the pleasure to welcome to the stage Ms. Sophie de Koninck, Director of the Means of Implementation Division of UNFCCC.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Excellencies, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I would like to start by congratulating the Technology Executive Committee and Enterprise Neurosystem for the successful conclusion of the AI Innovation Grand Challenge and thank them as well. I was truly impressed to see the diversity of the received entries and how AI is actually already accelerating effective adaptation and mitigation action in developing countries, especially LDCs and SIDS. With so many excellent AI-powered climate change solutions received from around the world, this has been an inspiring and a very tough global competition, as we can see. One submission from Trinidad and Tobago titled AI for SIDS made it through this rigorous review process. This AI-powered platform is designed to strengthen climate resilience in small island developing states by autonomously gathering and processing real-time data from IoT devices, weather reports, and social media feeds. The platform enables governments to optimize disaster responses, helping to save lives and minimize damage. With these remarks, I'm very pleased to announce that the AI Innovation Grand Challenge Award goes to Dr. Leticia Addison and her team. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Addison to the stage with a big round of applause.
Okay, so I actually cannot believe I'm standing here right now. It's really an emotional moment. Thank you very much for believing in the vision. I didn't expect the emotions would come at this point in time, but it's really, truly honor to be here. Very humbling to share with you the journey to this point and to give you some perspectives on the vision that we have moving forward for this type of work in the region that I come from. So first of all, please call me Leticia. And let me give you a little bit of a background as to how this vision of an AI-driven climate resilience platform for small island developing states, so I shortened it to AI for SIDS because that's too long to say, came to life. So this is just a very quick background as to who I am. I would really tell you I'm a mathematician and a statistician at heart. My PhD is in mathematics, and I also did a master's in statistics. But really and truly, I have really enjoyed using statistics and data to tell a story. So for about 15 years, I have been lecturing courses at the University of the West Indies in Trinidad and Tobago, where I'm from. For some of you who may not know where Trinidad is, it's a twin island republic, 2 islands. I live on Trinidad, which is a larger island. It's actually the end of the chain of Caribbean countries near to Venezuela. And we have been doing, I've also showing you some of my team, we have been doing a lot of work in this area of thinking about how to build more sustainable models for climate change. There's a joke in Trinidad that every time a drop of rain comes down, it floods. And that's actually to tell you how much we have actually been now getting so accustomed to the fact that we have these climate impacts that come at us very often. So in the line of work that I have been doing, not only teaching statistics, but also as an ambassador for women in data science, Trinidad and Tobago, trying to educate persons about building statistical models, data science models, building that community aspect, and then also being a research lead in the TT Lab data science group. Some of the members are there thinking further along to how we could harness the power of data, but not just the technical aspects. I think it's more of a community type of aspect. And that's what brought me to this competition. When I first saw it, my advisor, who is on the team that I am on, Professor Patrick Hussein, I actually went up to him and I said, there is a competition I'm thinking about entering. I have this idea based on some of the work we are doing. Do you think it's innovative enough? And to have that type of mentorship to spur me on really gave me the support to reach through these levels. I can't say it was an individual effort. This is actually a win for not only my country, but also for the entire Caribbean region that I hold very dear to my heart. We face a lot of climate challenges, and I think this type of work is really where we want to continue to delve further. And I must thank Enterprise Neurosystem and the UN Tech Committee and all the sponsors for really putting this on a world stage to really be able to do this, in a larger sense. So I must tell you, before I actually give you a quick context of the solution, I was quite intimidated to enter this challenge. And going through the processes, it felt very rigorous. Sorry, Bill. it was quite rigorous. But I will say that at each level, the 3 to 4 levels, I picked up new skills. We also had to not only give the proposal of what we wanted to do, we had to do a video concept. I learned how to use Canva. I created some AI videos. I actually became a video editor in the process. And on top of that, I think that it actually brought in more of a community aspect to things. So really and truly, that brings me to tell you about the problem and then the solution. So as we all know, why we are here is that we in the small island developing states face a number of issues with respect to climate change, which is happening globally. Particularly because of our geographical context, it makes it a little more difficult because of the fact that we tend to be in the path for hurricanes, etc. And the economic impact really is it's very daunting. So early warning systems themselves, there are varying degrees of how these work in the different islands in the Caribbean, right? Some of them need to be updated. And of course, as you could see in these snapshots, the Hurricane Beryl, which actually happened this year and really impacted Grenada quite harshly, really shows the human impact, as you could see the destruction. So for that problem, we need a solution. And really thinking about it, we want to have more real-time alerts but also we want to have a more localized response to disasters that really is more adaptive, customizable in the Caribbean and also in most of these small island developing states and least developed countries as well. We have a significant diversity and community in terms of the problems we face. So, for instance, in our Caribbean islands, most of us speak English, but it's actually in different. Jamaicans speak differently to Trinidadians, speak differently to persons from maybe St. Vincent. So we have dialects. So how do we integrate all of that in a tool that is going to help us in a global sense and something that's easy to implement and inexpensive? So the whole idea here, not to go too much further into the technical aspects, to give you the vision, is a humanistic approach looking at these platform components that funnel into how do I think about going from educating the community, be it the fisherman who has to protect his livelihood because of the fact that a storm is coming, or the government official who wants to look into the scenarios that need to be looked at more closely to be able to help the community with resource allocation. How do we put that into one space? And what we did was we experimented with using a proof of concept for building a large language model, which looks at taking flood reports and different types of data into a small database, and then putting that into a workflow of how do we actually interact with this in a platform. Also thinking about feedback from persons in these communities. A lot of the times we don't get the feedback, so we don't understand what is happening on the coastal regions, how it impacted those persons, keeping that data in a platform that is usable. So we wanted the solution to be something that is adaptive, that is autonomous and computationally updating itself, and of course, agent-based, looking at scenarios. And this is just a quick snapshot of some of the key features that we want to roll out. Now, this is a vision that we have, and we need your support. And I'm so thankful for this type of support at this platform to be able to put this vision to life, to be able to really push this type of innovation in our region. So we really want to target all the different players of our community because we are so diverse. And in closing, I just want to let you know that this in itself is really a partnership for a climate resilient future. It's something that we want to be able to roll out in a scalable fashion. And of course, in that way, we need to educate, we need to support, we need the mentorship, the funding, and just I think the motivation, as you all have given me here, to bring this to life is truly inspiring and humbling. And I would really like to thank all of you from the bottom of my heart for this award.
Thank you very much, Leticia. Yeah, and with this, it is now time to conclude this session. But I think, Leticia's project and the breadth of projects that emerged through this innovation challenge are a testament to the interest that exists across the globe to really develop these bottom-up approaches to tackle climate problems that are different everywhere. With AI as a tool that can accelerate those solutions. And let's really hope that the capacity building and resources now fall on that enthusiasm and interest in really having these technologies help these solutions take off. Thank you everyone for coming, and please give a last round of applause to Leticia for being the grand winner for this project.
Hi, nice meeting you. Congratulations. Fantastic. People say. Next